get into the game. The Raiders they went out. I mean, they I hate to cast water on Rick Bisaccia. What he did last
You mean
season
you mean
was with
focaccia
this off.
bread?
Yeah. You leave Rick alone, all right? Rick, for what he did last season with the locker room turmoil with Gruden, with the Henry Ruggs, situation isn't even like doing it justice. That how bad that was with Henry Ruggs and the drunk driving and killing somebody, and then you have the Damon Arnett situation with threatening people on Instagram videos, threatening to shoot people. How he kept that locker room together with Derek
No
Carr,
idea.
and yeah,
Hmm.
sure, it was more Derek Carr than Bisaccia, but Bisaccia was like the even kill voice as a head coach that probably hasn't been in that building in, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years before then. Like they went out, they got Josh McDaniels, they have a GM that also jumped ship from New England, and they have an owner that just wants to step out of the way and is going to let these guys do their job and win games. And they went out, they went all in, they got Davante Adams, they paired him up with his boy Derek Carr going back from college. Hunter Renfro really took a step forward last year. The real question in this game for me is going to be, one, I guess the offensive line, but it was kind of addition by subtraction with getting rid of Alex Leatherwood. I mean, that was just such a bad pick
Hmm.
from the previous regime. Like, at this point, anything is an upgrade over him on that offensive line. But the Boses of the world and the Khalil Macks of the world, can still get after it on that offensive line. That's going to be something to watch. Like, how is this line going to protect Derek Carr and give him time to get down the field to Davante Adams? And on top of that, Darren Waller hasn't really practiced a whole lot in
Yeah, what's
training
going on
camp
with
this year.
that? He
So,
fired his agent. He hired a new agent. Is he in a contract dispute? What's going on there?
so it's not like a contract dispute per se, but like out of like the big four, big five tight ends in the NFL, like he was the first one to like get a air quote get paid after his like breakout season with the Raiders when they were still in Oakland. But I think that was more so because like one, he balled out. This is no disrespect to him, but I also think wanted to do right by the Raiders because the Raiders were the first team that really gave him a shot, on the redemption tour per se. But now he's upper echelon tight end in the NFL. He wants to get paid. I want him to get paid. So I don't know if it was like a contract dispute. There was a hamstring issue that kind of gives me some pause. It's a soft tissue injury. I mean, we saw it last year during the Dallas game where he got hurt, and he really wasn't the same when he came back last year. So that's definitely something to watch. I mean, the defensive side of the football for the Raiders, I mean, you have Max Crosby, who to me is going to be a big candidate for defensive player of the year. I think he definitely should have got a lot more votes than what he did last year. You pair him with Chandler Jones, like those two getting after it. I'm excited to see what this defense is going to do. With all that being said, like the Raiders in this game on the road against the Chargers. I have no faith in Brandon Staley as a head coach
Hmm.
for the Chargers, and I think they're going to show off the shiny new toy in Davante Adams, and I think Derek Carr is gonna air it out. So I'm
Well,
excited for
well,
this.
yeah, and this is a big conversation, not just this game, and I have the Chargers winning this, but I think Derek Carr. This is by far the best trio of weapons in the NFL. You've got Davante Adams, who's the number one, who probably, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the NFL. You got Hunter Renfro, who is probably second or third best slot receiver in the NFL. Waller is a top three tight end, and then Josh Jacobs is a very formidable running back. On top of that, you pair him up with one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. I know Josh McDaniel gets hated on for what he did in Denver and obviously the whole Indianapolis Colts thing, but to his core, he is a smart offensive mind. He can do quite a bit. So all those weapons around him, and you've got Josh McDaniels, like he needs to win now or he never will. Like
Mm-hmm.
I always, and this is not hate on Derek Carr. My sister always gets on me because she's such a big Carr and Raider fan. It's not that I hate on Derek Carr. It's just that I just don't think I just got this nagging feeling he's the worst quarterback in that division, and that's a tough place to be in, right? Obviously, at the end of the day, if Derek Carr was in the AFC South, he'd be the best quarterback in the division. But you're going up against Mahomes, Herbert, and Russell Wilson. Like, do we understand that he's 1-7 against Mahomes? Like, you've got to beat him more consistently. And it starts with this year. Like, if you can't beat him now, I don't think you ever will. So that's my whole bigger spiel on Derek Carr and the Raiders. It all really comes down to him and his performance. He's got to take it to that next level and bring that team to the whole elite Super Bowl level.
Yeah, I can buy. I understand that. I mean, yeah, I think anyone that says Derek Carr is, above Russell Wilson in the AFC West, no offense, is just biased. I mean, if you had to rank it, it's Mahomes, it's Herbert, it's Wilson, and it's Derek Carr. And honestly, I mean, we talked about in the last podcast episode in the offseason in March. I mean, there's a good chance you could get 3 teams out of the AFC West. Like this is probably one of the best divisions in football this year on paper. So, I mean, that's no disrespect to Derek Carr. I think he's going to go out there and have something to prove, and him and Davante Adams are going to potentially light it up around here. But I don't think he's going to go to the extent of, he's just going to focus on Davante Adams like, a certain quarterback in Green Bay did. I think he's gonna divvy the ball around and get a lot of people involved. And I think that's what Josh McDaniels is gonna want in that offense as well too.